Hello, I'm Glyn Lewis. I'm Superintendent of the ACE Operations, and essentially that means I manage the operational and support functions of the ACE, and that includes the Operational Support Unit, COVID Online, victim identification, our learning and development, and our triage units, and also support and get support for running the ACE building. I'm really blessed in this role, which I started in January this year, because I've got some really professional and experienced people working for me. I've been in the AP for a few years, and I've worked in a lot of domestic and international roles. I guess the ones of most recent note for me was that I was the Assistant Auditor General of Western Australia for a period of time. I was a secondment, which was a great experience for me. I guess prior to that, probably one of the most interesting roles for me was the National Coordinator of Cybercrime. It was at a time when we were really uplifting the organisation in that space, and that provided some great opportunities. And I guess prior to that, I was overseas with Interpol for just under 3 years, and so that was a wonderful experience. Well, I think there was a couple of things I'm really proud of. I think one of them in particular was when I was working at Interpol. I was the gold leader for a 35-country partnership operation called Operation Lionfish 2. It was basically through South America and the Caribbean, and we worked with South American and Caribbean and European countries, and we seized over 30 tonnes of cocaine. Another one of interest with me was that we effectively were able to arrest, with US and Vietnamese authority support, someone that hacked into the Perth airport. And it's very unusual to be able to go and find the person that hacked in to an airport, because they obfuscate their activities pretty well. But because of good support from our senior officer in Vietnam and those authorities, we were actually able to interdict. This person was arrested by Vietnamese authorities, and we're able to actually really contain the data he'd stolen. Well, I'm lucky to come into the ACE when I have, because it's in a really good space. We've got really highly motivated and vibrant community here, which is fantastic for me. I really need to keep that bubbling along. I think really from a strategic perspective and a planning perspective and an operational perspective, there's a few things I need to and want to achieve with the national strategy, particularly in the first year of the plan. So I'm very keen to get that, meet those sort of benchmarks. And I think also I'm very keen to see us become more operationalised. I think we want to value add a lot more to what we're doing with our partners, not to be critical of what's already done, because it's incredible work that's already been done, but I'd like to see that maybe step up. The thing I really enjoy working in this space is obviously, it's an important space to be in. Saving children from some of the pretty awful crime is a great outcome. I think really some of the other aspects that I really enjoy working here is really the professional people. They're into their work, they're highly motivated, and it makes it a very good space to work in. The advice I would give, also being a parent, is really it's important to have really honest relationships with your children and a safe space for you with your children. The more they're comfortable about discussing matters or issues that are impacting on their lives, particularly when they go online, that's really important. So it's really important to keep those connections going with your children. Be part of their lives, be aware of what they're doing, talk about some of the risks of being online with them, regularly, and get, if there's changes in behaviours and all those other things, you need to be able to engage with your children. So really important to keep those relationships up. And it's challenging as children go through different phases, but it's important that you try and keep those linkages as much as you can.